sit on this big rock that was at the end of our property line. It just sat like kind of at the bottom of the second field. So I just like watched them play rugby. And I kind of looked up at my dad and I said, Dad, I'm going to play this sport and I'm going to like crush it. And he just like kind of looked at me like, yeah, you are.
He's so dangerous. Freddy Krueger has nightmares about him.
Hello and welcome to the Rugby Hive. I'm Dallen Stanford, and despite my South African accent, I was fortunate enough to play rugby for the United States on the Sevens World Series.
And I'm MacDowell, a former Canadian Sevens international. Back in my playing days, I went head-to-head against Dallen in the USA.
For several years, Robin has coached international sevens for various countries, including Canada and Mexico. He's massively passionate about growing the game across the Americas through his MacDowell rugby programs at all levels. I'm currently a commentator for World Rugby, most recently broadcasting the Rugby World Cup in Japan, as well as the amazing Sevens World Series.
More than a decade later, we are teaming up to bring you insights from legendary players and coaches from around the world.
All legends have a story. The Rugby Hive podcast is here to share it.
Welcome to the Hive.
Oh, he's more dangerous than climate change.
Today's guest is Canadian legend Kayla Moleschi, one of the stars on the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series, representing her country for 8 consecutive years so far, placing inside the top 4 every single season. She's an Olympic bronze medalist, a Rugby World Cup 7 silver medalist, and a 2-time Pan American Games gold medalist. In today's episode, we talk about growing up in Williams Lake, British Columbia, population 10,000, and how a young girl was inspired to represent her country, eventually going on to medal at the greatest sporting event in the world. We talk about those that shaped her life, what her values about team sport are, her international 15s career, and her plans to return someday. Plus, of course, representing Canada at the 2016 Olympic Games and the tight group that will compete at the 2021 Olympic Games in Japan. Best and worst roommate on tour, best try ever scored, most respected opponent, the famous Williams Lake Stampede, and advice on aspiring rugby players. Here is Canadian legend Kayla Moleschi.
All right, Kayla. Well, we're thrilled to have you on Rugby Hive today. You are a legendary Canadian international, and the best thing about you is you're a small town girl, small town big dreams. So that's kind of our theme today with you. So, how you been dealing with the global pandemic as far as training and just day-to-day life?
Good, pretty good. Obviously, it kind of hit pretty hard knowing that the Olympics were postponed by a year and all the stuff around that, including the training being postponed and put onto your own shoulders. I mean, it's definitely hard not training with the girls, but knowing that we're all kind of in the same boat and knowing that we're doing what we can to keep the flattening the curve and doing what we can to take part in that is pretty good. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's hard to train on your own, but ultimately knowing the girls are doing the exact same thing and we're all kind of struggling / crushing it on our own is really reassuring. And I mean, you see it on our social media as girls are putting in the work and it kind of just motivates you there. I've got my dog too, Finnegan, so he kind of carries me in a lot of my running sessions, either by chasing me or running in front of me and almost tripping me. So it's kind of like I'm dodging and deking people as I go. So it's good.
Well, I got a puppy. I got a puppy here, as you know. She's Molly.
Yeah.
She's just over 5 months old, and already like about 2 weeks ago we raced, and I had her. But she might have said that she gave it to me, but now she's at she's jogging. She's in first gear and I'm in fifth gear. So no chance, but problem is she's getting too fit. We're running the trails every day. And I think I'm fitter now than I've been in 10 years, thanks to my pup. So we're definitely lucky to have dogs.
Maybe we'll see you lacing up the boots when this pandemic's over.
Yeah. The under 50 throwback.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, with the two indoor cats, guys, the only thing, it's more irritating because now the cats are crying in the background of the podcast and stuff like that. So no, I need to switch to dogs.
Yeah, pick up a dog. Go shop SPCA, man. They've got some good ones there.
No, I bet they do. Now let's go back to your earlier sports that you were involved in. Which games attracted to you and what did you enjoy playing?
Yeah, so I actually grew up playing baseball, so hardball. My parents played it when they were younger, and they kind of like coached here and there on some of the teams that me and my brother played on. And I actually hit a pretty cool like milestone for Williams Lake. Myself and one of my like childhood best friends, we were the first ever girl pitcher catcher combinations for the Williams Lake Minor Baseball Association. So I mean, yeah, check the record books in Williams Lake and I'll be there for baseball too. So yeah, so definitely hardball. I played hockey as well growing up. So definitely I had big dreams to play for Canada. I always wanted to be in the MLB. I was like, I'm going to be the first girl in the MLB, and you know, just to have aspiration, like how Babe Ruth was such a hitter, you know, like those are kind of like my inspirations, like pretty old school, but yeah. And then hockey as well. I always loved watching Hayley Wickenheiser growing up, and seeing her play for Team Canada was pretty unreal. And I just kind of knew that whatever sport I was going to do, I was going to go to the highest level that I could possibly go to. And I played all the like volleyball, soccer, basketball and stuff when I was younger, but those two really stuck with me. And then when I got into high school, grade 9 was when I started playing rugby, but I had moved up to Williams, from one spot to another in Williams Lake. And it just so happened the rugby fields were in the backyard of my house. So, I mean, being able to kind of, in grade 7 was when we moved up. So I had 2 years before I started playing rugby that I would go up and watch rugby, sit on this big rock that was at the end of our property line. It just sat like kind of at the bottom of the second field. So I'd just like watch them play rugby. And I kind of looked up at my dad and I said, Dad, I'm going to play this sport and I'm going to like crush it. And he just like kind of looked at me like, yeah, you are. And then, yeah, like the rest is history. My mom and dad just like helped me pursue those goals. And, you know, my brother and my dad were always there for me to wrestle with. So all throughout my childhood, I always had some wrestling partners, and WWE was a big one for my dad. So, I mean, it's not something I like to admit, but yeah, I watched it quite a bit, and just being able to wrestle with my dad kind of gave me that tough edge, but jumped into a lot of questions there. Sorry.
No, I think you've shown the most diverse background of all our guests so far. I mean, you've covered all the sports and a few other ones as well. I do love, though, from the small town, how you said the field was encroaching on your property, basically. So that's kind of how you saw it. So unique and so amazing. Because often when we chat to people, particularly in North America, like, how did you find rugby? It obviously wasn't the first sport that most people played, and so it's really interesting to see the transition. Now, you must have some other hobbies as well outside of sports, and more recently, have you found time for doing other things?
Yeah, I actually busted out my rollerblades again. I may have had a crash here or there, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So just been doing some rollerblading. I like to go out and explore with my dog. We hit up trails. I mean, obviously we're trying to find the most isolated trails. But yeah, I've just been doing that. All like hobbies of mine outside of rugby is like camping and like fishing and doing water sports. Like I love wakeboarding and water skiing, but all of those things are kind of put on hold. So definitely a lot of rummaging through old bins, going through some Rugby Canada stuff and looking to see what kind of things I could give away for some goodies to maybe people who want them. So
beautiful. We'll advertise a few of those on our social media, so
amazing.
Lovely.
That sounds great.
So we were talking earlier today, Kayla, about the famous Williams Lake Stampede, and we're going to have listeners from around the world, and just hearing your insights of that. Again, the theme, the small town, big dreams, and for Dallen, that's born and raised in South Africa before he moved over to Canada in the early 2000s. Cool. Getting to hear this, where this diamond in the rough comes from, and with my involvement as one of the talent ID guys for Rugby Canada women, we're looking for those small town girls like yourself that play everything. So tell us a bit about the Williams Lake Stampede and what that rugby competition that coincides with that rodeo looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty unreal weekend. Like, I mean, it sits side by side with the Calgary Stampede, and it's its own unique awesomeness. Like, there's not very many tournaments that you can say the whole tournament is camped out alongside the rugby field. And like I said, so my property encroaches onto the rugby field. So I remember like growing up, there'd be like people in the bushes. Like I'd walk out to like go to the rugby fields. There's tents everywhere. And obviously it's a drinking tournament. So you kind of see some things that you're just like closing your eyes and continuing walking by. But yeah, it's an unreal atmosphere. And I mean, if you haven't been, you really got to go and experience it, because you've got the rodeo downtown, and then you just kind of like sneak away out of town and you're in this whole nother realm of like awesome, like camaraderie. People are, you know, you're playing rugby for one. That's kind of like the best part about it, obviously. But then you just have like people you haven't seen in such a long time that maybe you played BC or Canada, or you're just like watching people unload amazing little tricks and stuff, and you're like, what? Like there's an old boys like little tournament within it as well, and you just see some of the guys just like going hard. And I mean, yeah, all the women are amazing, like just being able to stand side by side with the men and outshine them too a lot of the times. Like I mean, I'm not gonna like brag or anything, but the women kind of got their belt buckle first in 2011. So, yeah.
It's the ultimate prize in Canadian rugby, Dallen's a William Lake Stampede belt buckle. So I was sharing with her my home club, the Cowichan Rugby Club, just north of Victoria here, where I was raised. It, you know, we won a number of provincial championships in the late 90s when I was starting, but all they talked about was the Williams Lake Stampede. And it was half the top premier players and half the best partiers, I think, on planet Earth. And so I was always frightened as a 17, 18-year-old kid to get on that bus, because, you know, to get from the Cowichan Rugby Club to get up island or down island to a ferry is about an hour. So that's about an hour of festivities with these professional party goers. And then I don't know how many hours from Vancouver to Williams Lake.
It's like 6 hours, depending on road conditions.
So about 10 to 14, Dallen, on an old beat up rugby school bus. And from the sounds of it, before they even got to the ferry, I was just frightened. And back then hazing was a thing. And I just didn't want to dress like a lady and be raised by some grown men. So I've never lived that dream. But when I spent 10 years on the prairies, I ended up just being involved in a bunch of community stuff across that province. And it's like going back 100 years when you get to different parts of small town Canada and proper rodeo cowboys. So I ended up winning my own buckle, competing in rodeo. And then my fiance was about to buck me off for doing that dangerous event. So I got my buckle, I got my check, and I got out of there. So I hung him up. But yeah, it's the rodeo world is a special world. And there's a lot of similarities. I've been asked before, like, why I was so engaged in rodeo, and being in a stadium that's full, and being in that tunnel. And Dallen and I have talked about the tunnel on a few of the other podcasts, but being in a bucking chute, so the chute where the animal's loaded, a bull or a bronco or whatever it is, and being on top of that animal, which I have, it's pretty scary, but it's the only thing that get my heart rate up since playing international sevens for Canada. So, but the code that the Cowboys live by is, how bad do you want it? And you're either all in or you're all out. Because if you're not all in, it's not going to work out good for you. And playing on the World Series at the level that you're playing at now, Kayla, you got to be all in, especially with the camera work and these smooth talking announcers. Loaded.
Yeah, they're pretty smooth.
Yeah. So what other mentors and coaches have influenced your sporting career? It sounds like your dad has quite a bit, but who else over the last decade?
Yeah, so definitely both my parents, like growing up, they kind of helped me with a lot of my hockey and baseball and rugby. But I have two high school coaches that really kind of hooked me on the sport. One's my best friend's dad, Todd Pritchard, and the other is Mauro Calabrese, which is a family friend for years. Like my dad and his parents knew their parents, and so yeah, they coached me throughout high school and kind of just helped me fall in love with the sport, and they guided me. You know, small town, we didn't really have a ton of practice time. It was pretty much when the snow left and before the snow came, which was a lot of months that there was snow. So yeah, we had a blast, and I mean, our high school team was always on fire. We had such a good group of girls that we were able to train with and compete with. And again, we had to travel a lot for high school rugby. So we, again, 6 hours to Vancouver. A lot of the time we were heading over to the island. But yeah, Mauro and Todd really kind of put in that like resilient and like determination into my character as a rugby player. And not only that, but as a person, they kind of just built me up from the bottom and had that belief in me that I was able to do anything that I put my mind to. And they were right there. Todd's one to definitely give the feedback, whether it's good or bad. And you kind of learn at a younger age, especially with a coach like that, how to take it. And, you know, criticism's good. It kind of makes you that better player. So I think I was able to get that at a young age and appreciate it and respect it, especially when it was come from coaches further down the line. Like my BC coaches, Rick and Brad, they were amazing. They kind of helped me, you know, get my foot in the door with Canada when I was young. And it was after a Newfoundland BC nationals for BC. And we believe we won gold that tournament. And that was pretty unreal because it's a big feat to be a small town girl and make it on the BC team when a lot of it was like Vancouver Island based girls and training with that group. But yeah, I was able to kind of put my foot in the door and then kind of get pushed through it by those guys. And kind of, I've been on the development tours and stuff ever since then. And that was grade 11, I think, for myself, or grade 10. So yeah. And then obviously John and Sandro, they've kind of, for the first quad of rugby that I was in with the national women's senior team, they kind of shaped me to the player that I am now. Obviously I had a lot of character building before that, but I had so much character that they had to, you know, shape around it and kind of help me become the player that I am today, which I'm so super grateful for all those coaches that have helped me get to where I am. And I mean, yeah, like I said, the character and that I've been able to gain and the experiences and knowledge from them has been pretty unreal.
Well, the one thing that's always impressed me about you is that you've been one of the most consistent Canadian internationals from day one. And obviously you're very polished now as a world-class player and centralized player and, you know, hundreds of games for Canada and 15s and 7s. But you've always been very consistent offensively and defensively. And Dallen, I was fortunate enough to be back on the coast in the final year of this quad. And obviously it's now turned into a Cinco, a 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
And in and around Kayla and the women every day. And those girls are doing more smiling and laughing in between sets and they're literally grinding every day, true professionals. But Kayla has a smile on her face full time. And that's one thing I really, really admire about her. And it's infectious with the young academy. We got a full on academy program that coincides before and after and sometimes during. And that's what, as a coach, that's what you want to see by your current leaders. So that's a day in the life with Kayla.
I wanted to go in to some of your heroes when you were growing up. You mentioned a couple of sporting ones earlier, but who did you admire growing up?
Honestly, like I never had one person that I admired more than any others. It was pretty much like I'm such a team player, and when I'm on the team, like those are the people that I admire the most. Like the ones who are willing to put in the hard work and do the dirty work and grind it out beside you, and knowing that, you know, you're exhausted, but they're tired. Like those are the people that I admire. Like it's not never just one person. Like I could sit there and say my parents because of their, you know, hard work and dedication as parents and friends to myself, you know, like they really have been my best friends. And I could say my best friend, Cindy Pritchard, you know, like giving her a shout out, but like, it's the girls that I like live and train with day in and day out. Those are the people that I admire the most, because you could have the crappiest day and you show up to training and you're like, all right, like, am I going to be above the line or below the line today? And obviously, you know, that answer is I'm going to be above the line, whether you're having that crappy day or not. You're showing up for not only yourself, but you're showing up for them. You're showing up for the program, and you're showing up for Canada, because ultimately you're training to be the best person that you can be day in and day out. And that doesn't just mean the best rugby player that you can be. It means the best person, right? So like Robin said, like I show up smiling, but you know, sometimes that smile could be a totally like fake one that day, but it doesn't mean to say I'm going to try and, you know, show that to the girls. I'm going to step up.
And speaking of stepping up, let's go back to international 15s. Can you describe what was it like playing your very first ever test match for Canada?
15s. Yeah. Wow. I mean, it was such a whirlwind, because one, I have never played 15s for the senior women's 15 team before. So, I mean, that in itself was a pretty amazing accomplishment. But stepping out onto the field, I was in a completely different position. I was playing 9. I was playing scrum half. And before that, I was always a fullback or a winger, sometimes here and there playing centers. But yeah, for the most part, going into the 9 position, I was like, wow, I'm a lot closer to the forwards. I have no idea what's going on there half the time. Like, I don't even know if they do, but it was an incredible group to play alongside. And yeah, we were over on a like France and England tour. It was dark, it was cold, but like I'll never forget the feeling of just like getting into the mix. And I was like, wow, man, I love playing 9. I'm so much closer to the action. Like I get to like, it might be hard for me because I love to ruck. So being a scrum half that loves to ruck is a little bit tricky, but yeah, I definitely threw myself in and said scrum half's in. But yeah, I mean, incredible experience. And I'd love to put on the jersey again for 15s and step out onto the field with the girls and really bring home some hardware and kind of show other countries what we're about. So.
And what would you say the major differences from playing international 7s and international 15s?
Yeah, I mean, they're very different games. Like, obviously, it's rugby. When rugby comes down to it, you're playing rugby and you're doing your thing, and you've got systems in place to kind of get you going forward on the field. But for the most part, anything can happen, whether it's 15s or 7s. I mean, I started with 15s and grew into 7s, and now I'm solely 7s at the moment. But having that little like hiatus where I played a bit of 15s in my 7s career was definitely an eye opener into like kind of the difference of how tours are run, and more so like logistically around that kind of stuff. It's a lot different, but the game itself is the same. Like, I mean, man, if you love playing rugby, you're going to love playing either or. I love 7s though, because it's more room to run, and you know, it's terrifying when you make a break and you're like, I'm free. And you're like, no, shit, you are not free. Like, keep running. But yeah, I mean, that can happen in 7s and 15s. I think right now I'm really drawn to 7s because of the fast pace and the open room to run and the big hits that you make, like open field. Like, there's not as many of you, but there's so much more field to cover. So, I mean, yeah, you're getting me all amped up. Now I want to play a game.
That's good. I know. Well, you can imagine how Dallen and I feel washed up here.
Nah,
we gotta live through you. We gotta live through you.
There you go.
So are you throwing out there that you'd consider going to the next World Cup, putting your hand up post Olympics, or?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I've talked to the coach and Sandro, and like, I'm not ruling it out by any means, but I know I for sure, like, there's things I want to do after the Olympics to further my career outside of rugby. And but I would love to have a gold medal World Cup title on for 15s on my resume as well. So we'll see how it goes.
So for our listeners out there, I remember when I played 7s, we had a competition. Dallen might have been there actually the first years in San Diego after LA in 2007 or 8 or something. And back then it was one of the first women's 7s sides, and they were playing, unfortunately, like a high school down the road. And I just remember that being so unfair. Having an older sister that was a world-class ball player and all Canadian soccer player and the rest of it. So obviously my dad coached all those teams, and I just didn't feel it was right that we got to play in a stadium. So now, you know, you probably came on. What year did you debut in 7s for Canada?
7s, I debuted in 2011, but at the time Dubai was not a part of the World Series. So it was the Challenge Cup, I believe it was called. But that being my first time with the senior women's sevens team, and we actually won that tournament in Dubai. And it just kind of been it from there. It was like one of my favorite tournaments to go to. Dubai was an unreal experience. It was the first stop of the year. You're so amped to get on the field. But yeah, I mean, like you said, with the women not having that level playing field back in the day, and to being able to see how far it's come. And I mean, we have multiple series stops that are alongside the men, and being able to, you know, playing on the same field as them. And it just goes to show how far the game has come. And that's kind of what I want to keep seeing and keep hopefully contributing to the growth of that. So definitely giving more opportunities to women in that sense.
And what about just from a fully centralized program now? So when you came into the program, obviously the World Series wasn't established for the women, nor was the centralized program. So maybe just go back to your first few years and really the women that helped win a bronze and now are on their way to a gold next year. Dallen and I got some side bets, but I'm pretty confident. But yeah, just maybe touch on where it's come from and where it's going.
Yeah, so like I said, I started in 2011, and our program didn't centralize until 2012. So when we came in, everything was new. It was all trial and error. There was still things that we had to pay for. We didn't have locker rooms. We didn't have, we sat along a hallway outside of our gym with all our bags and stuff at the PICE, so Pacific Institute of Sport Education in Victoria, which it was amazing that we were able to use their facility. It's awesome, like what they give to their athletes. But yeah, being a rugby team, we have 25 of us that were centralized at the time. And yeah, everything was trial and error. We'd wake up at 5:30, 6 in the morning just to get breakfast in, whatever food you can manage at that time in the morning before training. And then we would train at Westhill Stadium, would be where we'd do like our speed and our skills workout. So that'd be you're running on the field doing hot laps with like darkness all around. There's no lights on, anything. You're watching the sun come up as you're training, and which is an incredible feeling. But at the time, you're just like, wow, what is this? Why are we waking up so early and just to get on the field? And then, yeah, we would drive over to PICE to do our weight session. So, I mean, it definitely wasn't a smooth operating system. We created it to be smooth, but that was a lot of trial and error. And for a long time, it was a lot of running and a lot of, getting the conditioning up and making sure everyone was in a fit enough stance that, we could withstand 20-minute finals was what it was. Right. So we definitely had a lot of, like I said, a lot of trial and error stuff, whether it was conditioning or speed or even the rugby work within it. Like we tried so many different systems, and, from the wide to the switches on the ends to, crashing it through the middle, like sucking defenders in. So yeah, we've come a long way, and the program's only gotten this good because we've had that opportunity to centralize at such an early stage. And for that first quad, like I look back, we talked about it before, Robin, we're talking about, it's amazing to have gone to the Olympics and to win bronze, but the whole journey, the whole quad leading into that was unreal. Like we did things that you would never think you would do. We did seal fit. We did ridiculous, like, hill sprints where you're pretty much like running a sprint, going off and like vomiting because you're so tired, and you're like, oh, you lost, get back down to the bottom of the hill, you're doing another sprint, and you're like, what? But yeah, I mean, yeah, I look back at it and like grinding it out with those girls, like it's so funny to always use the word grinding it out, because you're like, oh yeah, they worked hard, but it was a grind. Like you grind pepper, like the slow grind, that was those 4 years. Like it was good. It was amazing. And I soak up all those experiences that we had as a team, because without it, we wouldn't have had each other's backs like how we did at the Olympics. Like we wouldn't have, like in the lead up to that series and that year, like we were one unified unit. Like we had each other's backs. People would finish for other people, like running to the breakdowns and like getting there for each other. That's like the stuff that you can't just make up, right? That's hard work, and that's working for each other. And I think that was kind of a part of how we were able to come out on top and take a podium finish. I mean, obviously it's not the one we wanted. And we look back at it like those weren't our best performances by any means. But we were able to grind it out because that's what we do. We're a bulldog team, and we grind it out because we're playing for each other and our country, and like the camaraderie that we have had within our team. Like I look back and it's like no other. And then I look to this quad and how we were able to, this past year was unreal. Like our connections have been firing, like, and I can't wait until we get to start up again, because it's only going to jump from there. Like we're not going to lose any time. Like in this period, this pandemic period, it sucks what's going on in the world, but it's only making us all that much stronger, and that much, like there's that much more fire underneath us. And I don't know, like I'm like feeling it right now. And obviously when I talk about sports and when I talk about rugby, I get that like energy within me that I'm just like, wow, okay, yep. Let's go to the 2021. Let's go to the 2024. Like, here we go. We're going, right? Like, but yeah, I don't know. Like I'm stoked to be able to hit the pitch again with the girls and can carry our momentum forward, because this next year is going to be unreal. And we're looking to show the world kind of the podium finish that we should have had in 2016. So.
Well, it's nothing sad about that finish. I mean, we all know the world level and Olympic level. It's
come on.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see that beautiful thing.
I mean, it's not very many times you get to say you're a bronze medal Olympian.
That is remarkable.
The question is, Dallen, though, I'd probably take the belt buckle over that. I mean, that Williams Lake buckle is just right up there, head for head. I mean, it's the best trophy case.
I'm really intrigued. I got to head out up to that one there. I mean, both are amazing. I mean, talk about small town legend, international famous.
It'd be a little scary.
Now, we have a lot of younger rugby players listening. What is your advice to them? You've played at the top level for so many years, and what do you think is the key to longevity?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like taking care of yourself, and that starts with your mental well-being before your physical, because if you're not mentally fit and able to stay on top of you as a person, it's going to make it really hard for you to go into those training blocks, because you have different levels of training blocks that your coaches set out, and it starts from like a low, medium to high. Then you hold that high until you get into competition phase. So I mean, definitely mentally make sure you just take good care of yourself, and whether it's that you need someone to talk to or reach out to, like there's so many people in the rugby community that are willing to help you out and talk to you. And then on top of that, it's your nutrition, staying on top of that, making sure you're doing the right things there. And honestly, again, just believing in yourself. Like that's the biggest thing. There was years, like you come into a program and you're terrified because you have no idea what's going to happen. It's new to you. But if you have that confidence in yourself and that belief that you can do anything you set your mind to, that's going to carry you forward. That's going to keep your mental game strong and keep your resilience high. And I mean, ultimately, you're going to be able to do anything you set your mind to, especially because the rest of the team and people like myself, Robin, like Dallen, like we all believe that in that person, right? You're never going to doubt that. But if you're not mentally there, if you're not nutritionally staying on top of it and putting in the hours, like that's another big thing. There's 2 kids in the MacDowell rugby club, or in the rugby organization that are probably 2 of the hardest workers. And they're how old, Robin?
They're 11 and 13, and we have a group chatted, just under 100 athletes in 4 countries, Dallen, and these kids are posting 12 videos a day. And you talk about
unreal.
They're from Avonlea, Saskatchewan. So when you give a name to a town on the Canadian prairies, they're probably the same in the Midwest and the USA, but that means they're from 20 miles outside of that town.
Yeah.
And the town is probably a town of 20. But anyhow, it's they're preparing for egg season for planting on the prairies. And their dad's a farmer. So before they can plant and use their $1 million machines, they got to use what's called a rock picker. But if you don't have a rock picker, you got 2 farm kids. So they're walking right now, they're for 14 hours a day. They're walking in front of their dad's front end loader and throwing rugby size ball rocks into the loader. And then they're going home and shooting these videos. So they get feedback from myself and Kayla and some of the other leaders in the group. And they don't complain, right? It's good old fashioned North American workhorse. So.
Yeah. So I would just say to all the youth, like, just believe in yourself and put in the work. I mean, it's rewarding and it's definitely going to help you out in the long haul of things. So
I love that you bring up the mental side of the game, because it is a big part that is overlooked, but it's a very important component. And we all get in our heads sometimes, so that's really good you brought that up. Let's go back into your mind again. Sevens World Series, you're in the tunnel, you're about to run out. What goes through your mind through that moment? And then hold on. And then the second part of that is you're there for the whole weekend and you have a roller coaster journey of winning and losing, more winning than losing for you guys, but still there are those moments. How do you cope with that as well?
Yeah, I mean, really good questions. There's so many examples that I could give. I mean, like, I'll go back to the Olympics and talk about losing our semifinal and kind of knocking ourselves out. That was our own fault. We didn't perform. And, we heads held down as we're walking off the field, like trying to smile and thank the crowd. But, our gold medal dreams were over. But we got back to the changing room and our captain just said, like, look, we've got a medal performance to still fight for. There's a podium finish and you have 5 minutes to get over this. Take the time you need to sulk in it, talk it out, scream, whatever you need to do. And then we need to turn up because we have a game, and what is it, like always like an hour, 2 hours down the road, we've got another game to go. Right. So, I mean, we had that moment. The locker room was pretty quiet. Then, you start seeing the gears shift, people just getting back into the routine of, whether it's listening to music, going over the video. We have iPads that we're able to watch on, or just looking ahead to the next opponent. Who do we have next, right? And we had England. We lost to them in the pool round, so we knew that we had a lot to show them, and to show the world that England's not going to beat us. Great team, but we were going to be better that day, and that's how it was. And we stepped out onto the pitch for that warm up, and I kind of just I took a moment to I remember it so clear as day. We're doing our skips and stuff, and I took a second just to kind of look at the field and look at our warm-up pitch and see the girls warming up. And I was just pardon my French, but holy shit, we are firing. There is no chance. This team has no chance. Whatever mistakes we're going to make out on the field, we're going to the next thing that we do is going to be that much better. And it's going to lead us towards that bronze medal. Right. So, I mean, and we did. We went out there and we showed them that it was a fluke. You beat us in the pool. We came out firing, and we crushed it. I can't think of the tunnel at that moment because of that field, that warm-up field. But yeah, it was unreal. And I mean, it's just being able to make that switch, right? To not let that, don't dwell on it. There's nothing you can do about the past. The only thing that you can do now is to take what your learning curves, your opportunities you've missed, and to now transfer that into the next game. And I think of that too. I think of the tunnel, and when you're in the tunnel, I think back to Langford, our home tournament. Unreal experience. It's small, it's close knit, it's super loud. Everyone above you is stomping on the stadium, the stands, and you just hear it so much louder, and your heart is racing. But you're the minute you get in that tunnel and like, okay, you hear it all and you just kind of like soak it up and you like absorb it and you just like take it for when you're on the field. And it's just this energy that like, okay, I'm so calm. Like you have those butterflies. And for me, they're never like, oh my God, I'm scared, I'm going to play rugby. It's like, holy, I am amped up and ready to go. These butterflies are like firing all my cylinders right now. And I mean, it's such a good feeling. So mentally, you don't think of it as like trying to shy away from it or to be scared about a feeling that you're having. It's like, take it in. If you feel, wow, this is loud, acknowledge it. Say, wow, this is loud, man. Like, let's go. Let's use this crowd. And yeah, I think that's like one of the big things that we have. Like, one of the girls on our team, Karen Pecken, she always says, "Allez, allez," like really, really loud. So she's always like, cover your ears. And like, as soon as she says it, like, you're just like, all right, here we go. Like that just like drowned everything else out. And you just turn in and you focus. You're giving each other like pats on the back and you're like, here we go. And you see the cameraman giving that countdown and you run out and everything else just kind of like goes away. You don't even know. Like it's crazy, those feelings, especially playing in big crowds like Dubai, and we've played in Hong Kong before, and Cape Town was incredible. Like that's amazing. Like you don't get that very often. So I mean, never be shy or scared of a tunnel. Like soak that up, because those feelings are what like make you roar. I don't know. I always talk so much. So
no, this is great insight, because you're giving us goosebumps, and describing those moments are so precious, because very few people ever get to experience that. And which brings me to my next couple of questions about the Olympic Games. Overall and generally, what was your experience like? I mean, you're obviously there for your particular sport, but you get to see so many other athletes from your country and around the world. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty unreal. Like, you know, we went and watched beach volleyball. We went and watched like BMX riding and synchronized swimming. Man, those girls are insane. That's a tough sport. But and then just being around everyone, right? Like for myself, I got a little shy because I was like, man, we're just like rugby players. Like these guys are like pristine athletes, you know? Like, and then I was like, wait a second, like we're here at the Olympics. Like we're a part of this group. Like it's incredible. I mean, like the Canada House had bikes that you could like ride because the meal hall was so far away. It was a workout just getting there. And then it's like this big hangar that has so many different options to choose from. And yeah, we were there for the whole time. We were there for 2 weeks or whatever it was, 2 and a bit weeks.
How was the food? How was the food in the athletes' village in Brazil?
It was good. There's definitely like things that were better than others, but I mean, overall, like after we were done the games, like we stuck to our chicken and rice and vegetables, and then after the games, like we would go explore. We'd go to the Canada House and they'd have all these little appetizers, and you could go out and have like these big meat sweats from all these like Rio like
Brazilian
little barbecues. Yeah, it was crazy. Like the amount of food that they have in the country is like, and it's so like culturally like thought about, like cared about. It's like this food that's just like they're so proud of, and you're like you're stoked to eat it because you're just like, man, that smells unreal. And then I do have to admit, we definitely got quite a bit of McDonald's in the village. So I mean, I don't think that'll be around next year, but I think they were canceling McDonald's for some odd reason. But
we can edit that out of this video as well, you know, the young athletes watching. But that's the thing. You have to, you know, you've done competing, you got to enjoy it, you know? So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we did all our hard work, and that whole quad, you know, we thought, you know, we could eat some McDonald's, right? Have a cheeseburger. There is some athletes that would be like not even competing yet, and they were going to McDonald's. My mind was blown. I was like, oh, well, they just need the protein. from the burgers
Well,
and
the World Series hotels are always dangerous as well because
oh
I
man.
was a starving student when I was on the circuit, and
Yeah.
it was kind of pre-carding for us. So all of a sudden, you have buffets. You're in Dubai, 5-star. You can have fresh
Oh
pasta
my
to
God.
everything in the world. And I know some of the other teams that don't have as strict of coaches or nutritionists. There's definitely some dabbling that goes on with the
Yeah.
temptation. But I always recommend week 2 on the
You
Sunday.
guys, Dubai, the hotel the women stay at, there's this kitchen 6 and it's the most sought after kitchen you want to be in. Like it has everything, like from like butter chickens to sushi to a chocolate fountain to like all these different like ethical, like just beautiful foods, and you're like trying everything. And then we only get it like once. We get like a lunch and a dinner, and then we're back into like the
Chicken
tournament
and
food, which
rice.
is still really good, but you soak it up. Like you got to go to Kitchen 6.
Well, listen, I know who went there. So a couple of our commentating partners for Dubai was Tiana Penatani,
Yep.
and she sent a photo at that place you were talking about, and we were like, hold on, where are you eating? Is this the hotel? And she wouldn't reveal to us what it was.
It was so good. So yeah, back to like the Olympics, it was an unreal experience just being surrounded by like-minded athletes. We're all there for the purpose of representing our country and winning gold medals, but it's pretty cool when you can kind of sit down at a meal hall and you have, other athletes beside you, and you kind of just kick up conversation and just say, hey, what are you training for? And they always have the pins that make it a little more easier to trade a pin and start a conversation. But yeah, I really look forward to the next Olympics as well, and just being able to kind of soak it up, and the things that I maybe didn't do the last Olympics, I'd love to do more of. And that might just be like exploring the country or in our off time, and just kind of soaking up all that the culture has to offer, because they really do an amazing job at the Olympics, and all the volunteers are wonderful people, and our Canada House is always super decked out, and they do such a good job. So I'm really looking forward to the next one.
What did it mean to you to bring a Olympic bronze medal home to Williams Lake, BC, and how did that what was it like for your family, obviously, and then to the whole community?
Yeah, I mean, I was so fortunate enough that my mom and dad and brother were all actually at the Olympics. So to have them there was, like standing on the podium, and I didn't cry after the final match because I was just so happy and like not relieved, but like, thank God, like, yes, we did it. Right. But then like stepping out onto the podium and being able to see like my mom and dad and my brother in the crowd, like it's such a memory that I'll cherish for so long. And like being able to bring it back home to Williams Lake was crazy. So I was getting my dog the same day that I was getting back to Williams Lake. So I landed in Victoria, had like 1 or 2 days because I had some media things I had to do here in Victoria. And then when I went back to Williams Lake, I was getting my dog. So they were bringing him down from Prince George, and I was meeting them at Tim Hortons. And my mom is calling me, and she's like, Kayla, you have to get up to the rugby fields. Like, come home. And I'm like, Mom, I'm getting my dog. Like, what do you want? Like, I'll be home soon. She was like, would you just get your butt up to the rugby fields? And so I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll go up. The guy's not here yet. So I go up, and there's a massive little like heartwarming group of my friends and my family, and they're all gathered at the clubhouse. And it was just so nice to be able to like see them and share my medal with them, and just like quickly chat with them about, how it was. And like, they're the people that have been behind me my entire life, my entire rugby career, my, my upbringing, and to be able to share that with them was such a massive accomplishment for me, because it's not just my hard work, but it's their support, right? Like without them, it's a lot harder. So I mean, I was so grateful that they took the time to put on a little like housewarming welcome home little gathering for me And then the next 2 days go by, and I'm getting calls saying, "Hey Kayla, we're having a parade for you. You're gonna I believe it was the Ford dealership or one of the dealerships in town put on a big decal, said congratulations, Kayla Moleschi," and I got to drive that truck. I didn't get to drive it. My dad drove it, and I stood in the back of the truck, and I was like waving. We drive by the cop station, and there's a bunch of cops there, and I'm just like, "So you're going to look past this one, right?" And they were like, "We'll get you next time. Don't do this again." And I was like, "Oh God, thank you." And like we have a rugby bus. It's just like, we call it Big Red or Clifford. I think that's what we call it.
Big red bus.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like a short bus, but they put like congratulations, Kayla Moleschi, and like decked it out. And it was just unreal to see that so many people had supported me. And after the parade went through town, we did like a gathering and a little presentation, and I got to chat to kind of the community. And there's a bunch of people like lined up everywhere, like wanting to autographs and that kind of thing. And I was just like, man, like never would I have thought in a million years, being from Williams Lake, that this would happen. Like, I feel so honored to be a part of that. And just to call Williams Lake home is amazing. And I owe so much to that town, and just from training at all the little high schools or all the little side fields, and the people that have supported me, it's been unreal. So bringing that back to them was a really, really big heartfelt moment for me, and just being able to share that. So,
well, they say it takes a village,
it really does.
And a strong sporting community, and sport changes lives. And so you being a hometown hero, and the whole small town big dream. So I have a plan today that I didn't tell Dallen, I didn't tell you, Kayla, but Rugby Hive is officially starting today, the hometown of Kayla Moleschi billboard movement. So we want everybody to hear this, and we're going to push this hard. So this is my next. You know how once I get my heart set on something, I don't give up. So I'll be pushing this hometown of Kayla Moleschi bronze medal.
I love it.
And we'll when they unveil it, we'll have to get Dallen and his beautiful voice to do the commencement.
Oh my God, I'd love that. That'd be awesome.
We'll fire it up.
That's so fun.
So looking to the Olympics 2021, I know we spoke about a month ago when I first started the online, athlete support group or training group, trying to get these athletes to not look at this as with what's going on in the world, obviously as a setback, and obviously there's a lot of tragedy around the world, and I think it's a good opportunity. We spoke with Andy Friend, the former Wallaby coach, but he's a great man, and he's kind of said the same thing to his team. Is this an opportunity for us to get better and take a look at ourselves? So for you, what we discussed is looking to, this quad Olympic cycle is now turned into a Cinco cycle. But what's your outtake on that?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely, it's tough. It's a year pushed back. Like, we were on the trajectory of where we wanted to go. And like I said, the pandemic is devastating to see what's going on in the world, but to see people actually doing their part and stepping up for the frontline workers, and being able to, set aside some of the things that they want to do in this moment to better the world and to better what we have down the road, is really admirable. And that then goes back to how we're training, right? So, I mean, yeah, we're training on our own, but it's not slowing us down. Yeah, it's hard to pick up motivation, but you see it, you see a post from one of the girls and they kind of get you going, or you send a message to someone on your team, and you know that they're in the same boat, and ultimately we have the same goal. The goal's not changed, the year's changed for sure, but the goal remains the same, and that's to be the best team on that day to win that gold medal, because we're capable of doing it. We've seen brilliant rugby that we've played over the last 5 months, and we're not looking to slow down. We're not looking to stop or take a break. We're not looking to let off the gas by any means. We're looking to take this time mentally to do whatever you need to do and build back up into another incredible year that's going to take us to a podium finish. And like you said, like it's only going to make us better. It's, as a team, as individuals, the resilience is going to just shine brighter, and that determination and that fire for that gold medal is going to outweigh all the circumstances and the hurdles that we've had to jump over. So
one thing for me, I see as a coach, and like Dallen, we've had so many wonderful experiences like yourself. And I always say as a coach, I'm getting older, and I really appreciate the moments. And I always say the moments go by so fast. So one thing you and I talked about earlier is it's another year of the journey, another year of a bit more of a climb.
Exactly.
And we all know at the end of the Olympics, I know nobody's for surely committed to moving on with their lives and going in different directions, but the reality is the number will. And you get another 12 to 16 months of being together before you all go on and live your lives. Because I know I miss my teammates every day, and
I miss them.
I'm kind of excited. I'm excited for you girls to get another year together of madness.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I mean, I miss the girls every day. Like I've said, like made shots of watching their social media and getting motivation from them. But yeah, it sucks not training together. I mean, you take it for granted, and you're like, oh yeah, we're always together, we're always with each other. But man, like you generate so much of your energy from each other, and like you feed off each other. And I mean, they're my family. They're not just my friends. They're my family, and not even just my rugby family. They're just my family. Like they're girls that I would do anything for. I would go out of my way to help them by any means, on or off the pitch. And it really goes to show the relationships that you make in rugby are really special ones. So definitely look forward to another year. Just kind of pushes the outside career of rugby a little further down, but I'm not too sad about that.
You got the rest of your life.
By. Yeah, exactly. I'll get by with another medal around my neck too. So
that's right. Right. So time to put you on the spot here. We've been too nice to you. So who is your best roommate on tour, and why? And just a little backstory. We had Hirayama on the other day, and his best roommate ever was my worst roommate ever. So that was interesting.
Who?
Yeah. You'll have to listen to the Rugby Hive when it comes out.
Crushing me. All right.
Kill the suspense here.
I'm subscribed. I'm already subscribed.
Lock it in.
Best roommate on tour. This is tricky because there's so many good ones. I'd have to say though Britt Ben, because she's kind of just always on top of the ball, like the room's always clean. I'm a clean person. So I mean we kind of like yin and yang, but we're like so similar in like our OCD tendencies of like the room's clean, we're on top of it, we're ready to go, we're like, whether it's training or I'm frosting her tips for rugby.
That's a good bit of intel for the commentators.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a little thing we like to do just to get her going for rugby games. So it's pretty funny. It was a bet at first, I think, and then somehow it turned into like a bit of like a ritual, I guess, or like
I like it. Yeah,
she might kill me for saying that out loud. I don't know.
No, it's good. It's complimentary, and I mean, she's one of the fiercest players we've seen as well.
She really is.
There was that time when she's wearing a face mask in was it Dubai or Cape Town? Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah. Still keeps going. Yeah,
she's a truck, man. And another reason why she's a great roommate is she just, you feed off her energy, and she's such a dynamic player. She can do it all, and like all the girls really, but. Yeah, she's a really good roommate. And I don't even know about my worst roommate. I feel like that's the next question.
That's the next question. It is. Now, again, it could just be somebody that's not tidy and you're tidy. So I can relate to that. But you got to give us somebody who's your worst roommate and why.
Man, I guess I've not really had too many like worst roommates. I feel like it's always been Ben, Ashley Stacey, whom I love, Bianca Farella, love her, all great roommates. I guess like one time I had Meg Lee Harvey, and I was like, love the girl, but we were just the different people. So I'd maybe put her into the category of the the most yin and yang of roommates.
There we go. Good. Thank you. Appreciate that. So now a question, your most difficult or respected opponent you have ever played against?
Man, we've had a few, but I feel like the easy answer and like the obvious answer here is New Zealand. So definitely respect them, think they're an amazing team, and they're obviously sitting on top right now. And we've had, ever since we've played them, we've always had really tough battles, and it comes down to the wire, whether it's just a try or a conversion. And over the years, we've kind of been able to unlock a lot of what we need to do to beat them, but we've just not quite got it. And I really think over this past year and a half, we've been doing that a lot better and been staying in the game. And I think, it's not so much that we fear them by any means. It's more that we let ourselves down with maybe like the handling errors or like the little things that we're just not quite executing properly on that day. And I think over this next year, there's going to be a lot of harder matches for them against us, because we're not slowing down. We're going to bring it to them, and they respect us. And I'm sure they'd say the same. Like, they're not just going to give it to us easily, and they're looking to be the ones on top, and so are we. So I mean, you're going to have some good commentating coming up.
Oh, can't wait. Now is there one player that you admire the most, or that you go against head to head, at these tournaments, that you're like, I need to watch out for this player?
I mean, not like necessarily, like I'd say like I love playing against like Nathan Wong. Like, she's always such a good player to play against, and just kind of watching her game, she's pretty dynamic, but she's always such a sportsman-like player that, you could go out there and rip each other to shreds, and just at the end of the game, you could shoot the shit and have a good time and talk about it. And yeah, I respect her, and I think she's a great player. And there's a lot of girls from all over, obviously, like Emily Cherry. She's a sweetheart from Australia. Not so much a sweetheart on the field, but she's got a wicked step. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of the girls on the series that you kind of respect, but I'd say like Tyla is probably one of the ones who I enjoy.
Who's the hardest to stop? Who's the hardest to stop? One-on-one.
I mean, aside from myself and Canada,
like individually, one-on-one.
Man, USA always has some pretty big girls that they throw in the mix, and they're like Mack trucks running at you. But one-on-one.
What about Portia Woodman?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Portia, don't give her the time and space, because she'll just run past you.
Just don't give her the ball.
I've had that happen to me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say Portia is like a really good, solid person to tackle. She runs hard lines. She doesn't stop her legs. So when you're tackling her, make sure you wrap her up. Alev Kelter, obviously, she's another force to be reckoned with. But you get them low, you take them down, and you go for the ball. You're gonna come out on top. So I mean, it's all about how quickly you get back to your feet before them, right? So all really good competitors for sure.
Yeah, it's tough to name just one. I like what you said about you go through that hole and you think you're gone. At any other level, you're gone. Like domestically in Canada, Dallen and I might have been fast or quick, but on the World Series, there's proper athletes, and you go through a hole and you're just looking for a friend, and then another friend, and then another friend.
Exactly.
Looking back on your career, and it's quite extensive, successful career, what's one try that stands out for you that you really cherish?
I would say actually it's from Dubai. I can't remember the year. It was before the Olympics. But we were playing New Zealand in the plate final, and I got a pass and I just stepped to one girl. And then I stepped, I think it was Broughton was chasing me down. And she just I felt like the one little swipe, and it nicked my foot, but I just picked it up and kept running. And I was like, dear Lord, someone help me. And I just kept running, and I was exhausted. I think the score at that time, we were 7 points down or 5 points down or something like that. And yeah, I just I just pinned her back. I pinned my ears back and I ran as fast as I could. And I ended up scoring. And it was like a 50, 60 meter try. And those aren't like my tries, like by any means. I'm not like the 70 meter sprinter.
Bianca.
I'm the rucker. I'm the honey badger. I hit the breakdowns. I make 10, 20 meter sprints that just like get my team going forward. And I set people up. But yeah, that try definitely was one of the ones that really stood out for me as one of my all-time faves. And then another would be playing France in the quarterfinals at the Olympics. I was scrum half. I just put the ball in. The ball spewed out nicely, and I just right around the corner and just, close to the posts. And it was such a good feeling to put my team back on top because we were having a few bounces not go our way, and just to kind of like light the fire and ignite us again. It was pretty awesome to do that. So 2 of my favorite tries for sure would be those guys. And yeah.
We'll make sure to share them when we go live with our podcast here. So
Awesome.
you brought up her name already. I think there's 2 players in the world that I would not want to play against, and that's Brittany Ben and Karen Paquin. Like as Dallen alluded to earlier, I want to know what her taping bill is. I mean, she definitely earns her weight in gold, but I think every tournament she's got more tape on her in different places. And so just talk to me about her level of commitment and what she does to her body for Canada.
Yeah, Karen, right? We're talking Karen here, right?
Brittany.
Oh, I was like, Karen takes quite a bit of tape on. So
yeah.
I mean, such incredible players. I've had the honor to play along some Canadian legends, Ashley Stacey, Jen Kish, like all the girls on my team, all of them. But yeah, Ben, she's such a force to be reckoned with. I mean, and she's such a gamer, right? Like she just goes to a different world when games come in and like powers through. Like she broke her wrist in a Fiji game and she ended up playing the next game like the rest of that day. And I was kind of like, what? Like she's like, Kayla, pass me the ball. And I was like softly, or like, you want to pop? And she's like, pass me the ball. And I was like, okay, pass her the ball. And like cringes, like I'm cringing watching her catch it. And she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll tape it up. We'll be good. I'm just like, what? I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. She goes and gets an x-ray, finds out it's broken. And I'm just kind of like, damn, Ben, like she's got such a different mindset. She grew up with 3 brothers. So, I mean, you definitely a really good person to get on your podcast if you want to open up a whole nother realm. Like mine is like, I'm a smiley, like, like Ben is just like down to the nitty gritty. And like, yeah, she plays with such heart. And I mean, you can see it when she's breaking those tackles, when she's making those lines. And she plays with her heart for not just herself, but her team and her family back home. She's a really big family girl, and they mean the most to her. So, I mean, when she's able to kind of show that to the world and let that exude out of her, I guess, it's pretty cool. It's awesome playing beside her. She definitely picks you up too. So
yeah, I mean, just watching her these days. I mean, seeing her day to day in training, she's so focused. But then get her game times, and if she was in a war, she'd have like one leg and one arm, and she'd still be going. Just unstoppable.
And she does anything for the team too. So I mean, she's always the person that you call if you need. I mean, I can change my own tire, but if someone can't, like she's the person you call, right? Like she's always there for the girls, and just a big heart on and off the field. So
that's awesome. Listen, you've played 15s, 7s for Canada. You played lots of sports. You've been to Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, Pan American Games, Rugby World Cups for 7s. What is your favorite moment in a Canadian jersey?
Oh, there's so many. I love jumping into Ghislaine Landry's arms at the Olympics. That's probably like an unreal moment. Just kind of the energy that was there, and you're feeding off of everything that's going on. Someone tried to claim that it was a painting of an angel jumping into Jesus's arms, and I was like, no, man, that's me and Jiz. Like, get out of here. What? So yeah, like there's definitely that. Honestly, becoming a part of the Hall of Fame for like the Rugby Hall of Fame for the 2013 World Cup. Our silver medal is pretty awesome. I mean, those are all like beginning parts of my career that I just cherish. And I wasn't even the player that I am now. So, I mean, to know that I've accomplished so much stuff then and to see where I am now, I think my biggest moments in the rugby jersey, in the Canadian rugby jersey, aren't specific little ones. It's all of the little ones that build me up to the player that I am now. And that's just every time I step out onto the field, whether I'm in the jersey or not. That's every day at training, like being able to run against and with some of the best in training is unreal. It's such a cool feeling that I get to say, this is my job. I play rugby for Canada. And whether it's a lot of money or not a lot of money, I get to do this because it's what I want to do. It's what I choose to do. And I'm a part of an elite group of athletes and people who are performing to the fullest of their abilities. And those are the moments that I live for. And like, it's not about a try here or there. It's not about a medal here or there either. It's about being able to put our hard work that we do daily in and out, Monday to Saturday, Monday to Friday, whatever it is. There's a lot of days that we train 6 days a week, but you know, like just being able to say we've put all this hard work together and we've accomplished this together. Like it was never just one person. It's never just one coach that has gotten us there. It's us as a team, as a whole program. That's our support staff, from nutritionists to video analysis to our GPS analysis, you know, to all of the support staff like yourself, Robin, and just the community that is Rugby Canada. I mean, those are the moments. Those are my favorite moments in a Rugby Canada jersey, is just being able to see that hard work translate onto the field and to make a 20-meter pass and one of the girls scores a try. Like, that's what I live for. So.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better ambassador of our sport and poster girl for Canada and Canadian rugby. So thank you for all you do, Kayla.
Well, thank you very much, you guys.
I have one last question for you. And think about the next generation of young girls and young boys picking up a rugby ball. What advice would you give to them?
Pass it as much as you can. Every kind of pass, whether it's a push pass, a pop pass, an offload, a spin pass. Use your feet, kick it off your foot, whether it goes left, right, 20 meters, 5 meters in front of you. Just get used to it being in your hands and fall in love with it. Watch as many games as you can, and just study the game. Be a study of the game and just really take it in, because it's an incredible sport. It takes you to amazing places. And again, like I said, just believe in yourself, because you're capable of anything you put your mind to. And for any of those doubts that creep in, just remember that you are an incredible person and you can do anything. And there's people that are going to back you and there's people that aren't going to back you. There's going to be people that are not rooting for you, and feed off of those people, because how good is it to say at the end of the day, I did that and you didn't believe in me? Looks like I'm coming out on top, right? So, I mean, just again, believe in yourself, pick up the ball, run around, pass it, keep your 6 foot distance right now, but definitely, make it a part of yourself and make it a part of who you are. And it's not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. It definitely really is. It's a lifestyle.
How old were you when you first touched the ball or started playing rugby?
First touched the ball. Well, I moved up, like I said, in grade 7. So as soon as I knew that there were rugby fields in my backyard, I wanted a rugby ball as soon as possible. And Leslie Cripps actually was the 15s captain for Canada for a few years there. And she was a pretty big inspiration, I guess, like just being from Williams like herself and playing on the 15s.
Current coach of the Japan women, Dallen, as well, 15s coach.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I guess I just picked up a ball in grade 7 kind of thing and started tossing the ball around, getting the idea of wow, this is pretty cool. What a weird ball this is, right? You're used to baseballs and hockey pucks, but oblong kind of football, what's this? And again, I remember my very first try, actually, or my very first moment on the rugby field. It was a kickoff and I caught it and I was just now what? And they were like, run. So I like ran and I was deking and dodging and I got to the try line and I touched it down and I was like, that was so much fun. And, you know, like what, like, how have I not played this 2 years earlier when I moved up to the rugby fields? And then the next instance I went to ruck and I was like, why was I dodging people? Like, I love rucking. Like, this hitting thing is awesome, right? Like, so, I mean, yes, it's very cool to see that kids are able to start at such a young age now and kind of make it a part of their like upbringing, their roots. And that's what we want as senior athletes who maybe not have had that opportunity when we were, you know, 6 years old, to be able to see people who are doing that now and to starting that and encouraging it. It's incredible. Like, buy every sports ball, every sports thing that you can for your kid if you're able to. And if you're not, there's so much that we have to offer or donate or support and kit you guys out with. And it just takes sending us an email or shooting us an email and saying, hey, like, you know, we don't have this, like, is there any chance that you could get this for us? Because we're more than welcome. I'm more than happy to try and get what we can to you, to whoever it is that needs it. So,
well, that's so wonderful how approachable you all are. And if you need a rugby ball, you can reach out to me. I can help you out too.
Nice.
Just full circle. We, you know, the theme today and that's near and dear to me is that small towns and big dreams and not necessarily the rugby athlete out there, but anybody out there in this world that has a dream. For you being from little old Williams Lake, what do you say to that 12, 13-year-old girl or boy around the world that has a dream?
Go after it, chase it with everything you got, and just have fun with it too. Like, don't make it so serious. Like, enjoy it, soak it up, learn from your failures, learn from your mistakes, and just know that that's opportunity to become the best person that you can be on a field or off the field, on a rink or off the rink. Like, those opportunities that you get create such an incredible like starting point for you as an athlete, as a person. And I mean, soak it up, live those dreams to the fullest that you can. Like, don't think it's too big of a dream. Never think, oh, I can't make it there. There's so many steps. Like, take it one step at a time and chase them. Like, have fun and chase your dreams, because that's what it's all about. We get one life to live, and live it to your fullest, because it's going to be pretty incredible when you realize your potential and what you have to offer. So,
Kayla, that's brilliantly said. And we really want to thank you for giving us your time and your insights over many years of playing at the top level for the Rugby Hive. And now I have two teams I got to support at the next Olympic Games.
Yeah, you do.
Know? So can't wait to see more of your videos though, as you guys train and prepare for that. And again, really just such an honor chatting with you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys, for having me on the podcast. And I look forward to sharing it with everyone and watching all the other ones that you guys have to record. So thanks again.
Thank you. Cheers.
Beautiful ball over the top. Yes, Seppo!
Thank you for listening, you sleek sensations.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to Rugby Hive Podcast and catch us on all the socials at Rugby Hive.
We appreciate your support. Be safe out there, and we'll see you soon.
They've taken a lunch money from South Africa and are up by 17.